Hello, my name is Paul Jenkins, Managing Director of UK Packaging Innovation Consultancy, ThePackHub. I'm delighted today to be joined by Clare, co-founder and Chief Product Officer at Moree. Hello, Clare, how are you today?
Hi, great. Thank you, Paul. Yes, very good.
Good stuff. Excellent. Well, we're here to talk to Clare today because her business, Moree, were one of the winners of the Packaging Startup Awards. So we're very much keen to find out a little bit more about her and the business. So the first question really is, can you tell us a little bit about your background and what inspired the start of Moree?
So I have a product design background, and for many years I had my own product design studio in Milan. And very quickly into my career, I began to have this feeling, having always been a person who's been very passionate about nature and the environment. I had this feeling that all I was really doing as a professional designer was designing landfill. So very early on in my career, I began to try to investigate how was it possible to be a designer and not create landfill. And the only solution that I could really find was creating business whose goals were to generate positive environmental impact. Because you never can do that when you have a client. Your client has always got their own constraints. And so the only way to do it is to go it alone. And it was quite a new thought at that time. So I did a master's degree in Milan in creative entrepreneurship. And as a result of that, I decided I couldn't stay in Italy anymore in spite of, that was my home and had been my home for many years. Moved back to London because I realized that what was really needed was a change in the way we train designers to be designers. So we train designers now a little bit less, I think. But at the time, design was all about stuff and physical objects, and actually design needs to be about systems and collaboration with other professions. So, drop the design star and bring in everyone that needs to be involved in a project in order to hit a certain target. And so that's what I've been doing really ever since. I've been a consultant for some years. I was many years founded and ran Sustain RCA at the Royal College of Art, to try to work with all creative people across the college to get them thinking about how to use their creative skills to address environmental issues, and then began consulting and working together with my current co-founder. We've been working together for the best part of 15 years through thick and thin.
Brilliant. So that leads very nicely on to talk a little bit about Moree. So I think we need to find out what problems and solutions you're solving. So what specific packaging innovation or solution does the startup offer? And how does it address sort of current industry challenges?
So Moree began because when we were working as consultants in the food sector, as circular economy consultants in the food sector, we many times we had companies asking us to help them resolve their packaging issues. And I think that's because companies now are coming under increasing pressure from their customers, and from government legislation, and also from just price hikes, to transform to more sustainable packaging. But that's a really difficult thing to do if you're a manufacturer. So we decided that there was nothing really on the market, so our clients were not. There was no ready-made solution for them, and we decided that maybe we should have a go at creating that ourselves. And the real problem is that we're consuming in the UK 100 billion pieces of single-use packaging, mostly plastic, every year, and the vast majority of that just can't be recycled. It goes in the recycling, but it never actually gets recycled. So there's a huge amount of waste. We know now, we're very familiar with the problem of plastic and how it is filling our environment, and particularly our oceans. And there is no better sustainable option than packaging that can be used again and again. We just have to turn off the plastic tap. So you could say, lots of people say, what about making everything paper? But that doesn't really work, because actually we started using plastic in the 50s to stop cutting down trees because we were using too much, we were consuming too many trees for paper production, for packaging. So that doesn't really work. It's just shifting the problem from one place to another. Compostable sounds like a great idea, and there's lots of biodegradable and compostable options out there, but very often they can't really be composted. And again, the majority of that compostable material which is anyway single use, doesn't actually get composted. It ends up in landfill or being burnt, or because it can't always go to the right kind of composting facilities. So it's a very challenging situation, which requires a reusable option to substitute it.
Brilliant. Excellent. So tell me about some of the challenges that you faced while establishing and growing a startup, and how do you overcome them?
Well, where would I start with the challenges? It's a it's a really difficult thing to do. I mean, first of all, any kind of circularity project is difficult because you have a huge upfront investment. So circular economy is a difficult thing to achieve in any sector. In food, it's even more complicated because you bring in all of the challenges of food hygiene, and if you're using a reusable package, you obviously need to make sure that when it goes out to the client, to the brand, for the second or the third or the 20th or the 30th time, that it is hygienically prepared and it's ready and safe to go out to customers. And that is a big challenge. I think the infrastructure that is required is building very quickly, and there's some fantastic players out there which are really helping the reusable packaging sector in the food industry to take off. So companies that are now learning how to wash all kinds of different materials, they've got the labeling problems and the branding issues. So all of those things have been really challenging. Our main challenge is that we decided early on that one of the difficulties of reusable packaging is that it tends to be solid and three-dimensional. And that means that because it needs to be shipped around a lot, you're shipping around a lot of volume and air. So the costs of logistics are really high. And so our really USP of our products is that everything is flexible, which means it can be squeezed down, fit into an envelope, or squashed into a small box, which makes logistics much more viable. Okay. And so now we're working with some of those washing partners that I was mentioning before, the logistics people, to really work out how best to wash our packaging. And so far that's been a very interesting and challenging journey, but we're getting there.
Excellent. Good stuff. Getting there is what it's all about. So how can other entrepreneurs and startups in the packaging industry sort of learn from your experience so that they can achieve some sort of success?
It's really helpful to talk to other people. So the more people that you talk to as an entrepreneur, the better. You have to be brave enough to try things out and to push the boat out beyond what is currently possible or known, and go with what you believe in. I think that working outside of your sector with other people from different backgrounds to yourself is also really helpful. And I think just try to enjoy the ride because it's going to be fun.
Lots of ups and downs. Brilliant. Okay, that's excellent. So finally, what's next for Moree?
Next for Moree, actually today is a really exciting day because today is the actual launch day of a major pilot that we are running with the Modern Milkman, who's going to be delivering bread created by the Bread Factory, which is part of Gales, to their customers in the UK. So that's a major pilot which has been funded by Avery Dennison. Avery Dennison, if you don't know them, is the world's largest producer of labels. So they have helped us identifying the right kind of adhesive for labels that will work on our material and be removable where necessary, or not removable where we need them to stay on. So all of that's kicking off today. And we're hoping over the next few months to really be able to verify our process, to understand the return rates, and that everything will be a stunning success.
Excellent. Exciting times ahead. Well, Claire, thank you very much for your time. Really enjoyed the conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. And thank you very much for the award. We really are so excited about having won the award, and it was a real surprise, and we are very, very happy to have won that. So thank you.
Excellent. Well deserved.